So many people have like the real urge, once the weather starts to get a little bit warm, it's like, oh, I got to start my seeds now. Maybe that's seeing the seed catalogs come in the mail. That's seeing like people in other climates or like recycled YouTube content from the year before. But it's very easy to get caught up saying, hey, I want to get my plants out. And truth is, the frost will kill them. Here in Ridgeway, Virginia, our like first, frost-free day is like, we don't really want to get our plants out until like March 1st, and that's like 2 weeks after the frost. You just gotta, it's all about timing. These crops that you see in front of me, this is garlic, and this is stuff that we planted in the fall, and it's a cool tolerant crop so that it can overwinter and then kind of like bolt to life in the springtime. But if you're planting tomatoes in the first of spring, you're gonna have a bad time. So I'm here to tell you, resist that urge, start looking at those planting catalogs, start arranging how your beds are gonna go. Maybe plow in the fall, give it some like freeze and thaw time so that when you come back, your tilling and your disking is a little bit easier. Planting starts wherever you are, but resist that urge to get plants out too early. If you're in farming or agriculture, you know the weatherman is not to be trusted. As farmers and gardeners, we're kind of incentivized to get our crops ground early. One, we get that emotional connection. It's like, oh yay, our tomatoes are growing. Oh, we've got some things in the garden. We're competing with our neighbors. It's like, oh, what have you planted? Oh, I've got these things in. Oh, I haven't quite got those in. But the biggest thing is economic. You make the most money or the most profit in beating those imports to market. So as the farmers market starts to get kicked off, if you're the only dude there with the thing, people are going to come to you because they want that product. They want it grown locally and fresh. Before it comes from Florida, before it comes from Mexico, South Carolina, wherever it's coming from, it's your job to beat that stuff to market to get the most money in your pocket. But the weather doesn't always cooperate with that. And we're always pushing the envelope, trying to get our crops out early. Sometimes that random frost has come, and fortunately we've gotten so lucky. I hope that luck continues. There's been a couple times where we've got caught, but fortunately we overplant and we start too many plants in the greenhouse. So that way we have some replacements and stagger our plantings that way. But we've definitely lost some leaves. We've definitely lost some plants, but by replanting them, we're able to still continue and be successful and not be completely wiped out. Now, I know everybody isn't going to have the same luck that we have, and maybe our luck's run out too, but I wanted to share a few things that will allow you to have a successful garden, particularly this time of year, and avoid those frosts that come. Biggest step is planting on time. You can check in with your agricultural extension office and they can give you a window that it might be good to plant. I really like Clyde's garden planner. I've shown that to you before. You can pull it and set your frost date and then be able to say, oh, here's the first planting, here's the first harvest. It's a calendar that lays all that out for you. The biggest thing is be watching the weather and talking to your neighbors. If that frost is even hinted at, cover your plants. Whether they're inside in the greenhouse, shut the doors, turn the heat back on, or whether they're outside, covering them with a painter's plastic drop cloth, those clear poly tarps. There's some Caterpillar hoop systems. There's some commercially available systems that you can put out that are already good to go. You just extend them over the bed. I've seen some people with raised beds actually have windows that attach that they can lift up and have this hybrid raised bed greenhouse system. That's pretty cool too. But the big thing is cover your plants, and that'll give you a little bit of protection against that rogue frost. The other thing is intentionally planting your garden. We have these different slopes, and that gives us a little bit of wind protection. If you're on a super windy ridge where that cold might be frosting, but the plants are kind of tolerant to frost. They're not tolerant to freeze. But if it's super cold and the wind is hitting your plants too, you're setting yourself up for failure. So allowing yourself to be in a protected space that gets full sun, that kind of mitigates all that risk of frost, that's the way to get started early, and a way to get your plants to market or to your family as soon as you can. So I used to fear the frost, but now we're actually using the frost and the freeze to our advantage. Here's one example of the daikon radish I've showed you a lot of times. We're actually changing the structure by letting plants die. But if we're growing plants that we're going to eat, we don't want them to die. So we've put together a lot of free resources. They're in the description box below. click that link. You can't afford to miss out on this information. We're just giving it away for free. We want you to have this. We want you to be successful. All of these resources are designed to save you time, money, and effort in the garden to make sure that you have abundance for yourself, your family, and your community. That's what we're about. Thanks for watching SustainableHomestead.com.